Hi, good morning, Dave here. It's Tuesday the 2nd of July, incredibly early in the morning. I couldn't sleep, Jane's still in bed asleep, as is everybody else who's sensible. Anyway, I'm up and I wanted to do something very different today in terms of, you're going to be saying, how does this fit with sustainable sailing? And we're asking the same question ourselves. So first, let's remind you, this is our dinghy. It's a Highfield Classic 290. We chose that classic model really to get the bow locker, to get the flat floor with water flowing underneath it so you keep dry feet, and it has the rail here which includes a spray deflector. The Highfield also has much larger tubes than most other ribs, and this one's Hypalon fabric, so should last better in the tropics. We've already fitted removable wheels to the back, and absolutely love this dinghy. It's the right size for us, just fits on our foredeck and gives us lots of carrying capacity. Right from the beginning, we bought it with an ePropulsion Spirit 1 electric motor and 2 batteries. That's brilliant for short journeys. We have done a couple of sort of expeditions right out to Puffin Island and then up the other way to Menai Bridge. But what we know now is that, thanks to a combination of things, including how ready we are and Brexit, when we launch, we're going to spend our first winter in the UK at anchor. And however much solar power we have, we will not be able to generate enough solar power to keep our batteries fully charged and be able to charge batteries for an electric motor. Plus, we're going to be in rivers and things where it will be strong tides, potentially strong winds, obviously in winter, and the need to go and collect shopping. So we've gone and done something that is really quite crazy. I've been looking for a long time for an outboard engine that will suit us, and part of sustainable for us is money, and all the new outboards are way outside our price range, and so are the old 4-strokes. Can't see anything that's a good condition running 4-stroke for under £1,200. So we've bought this. We bought it without the seller knowing anything about it. It doesn't have a rating on the back, but we were fairly confident it was either a 9.9 or a 15. And this is a 2-stroke Mercury, as you can see. It was built about the same year as we got married, so something like 36, 37 years ago. And I bought it without being able to test it, but when you look at the condition of it, it looks like it's never been run in salt water. The guy I bought it from had bought it himself from the wife of an 86-year-old man, so it hadn't been used, I guess, much in recent years. And the boat, he bought it with a boat. The boat got vandalised, and so he was selling the engine. Didn't get vandalised. All we've done so far, before we ran it at all, was you've got the plugs. Where are they? One there and one down there. So we've changed the gear oil before we ran it at all, and I've taken it out on the dinghy myself, and it got up onto the plane. 2 up, it didn't. So today I'm going to do some checks to see why that might be. Okay, so our club has this tank for flushing through your outboard engine after you've been out. It's just designed for 2 and 3 horsepower motors, so that bar there is too low for us for the depth of water. So I've just built a little drop-on frame out of some scraps so that our engine faces the opposite way but is at the right depth to run. Now I will start it and let it idle so you can see that, but I found this brilliant Facebook group called Mercury Two Strokes, and let's pull the choke out, turn that right up, make sure the kill switch is turned on, make sure it's in neutral, and oh yes, getting the fuel out of the car would be a good idea. So this really helpful two-stroke group on Facebook, full of really knowledgeable people. So the key things that they've got me to, or suggested that I check now, are the compression of the cylinders and the spark. And I've also got, hopefully arriving today, a digital rev counter that I can connect to it. So I'm assured that if the compression is good, if I'm getting a spark, then I should be able to tune it so that it will actually be able to get on the plane with the two of us. But as you can see, hopefully, it's really clean inside. The only bodge I can find is that does not look like an original screw there as a limiter, and I do wonder if the limit is set wrong, and that's one of the reasons why I get on the plane with one of us, with just me, but not with both of us. Anyway, we're going to start it to make sure the cylinders are nicely oiled up, and then we will see whether the compression is good. One thing I did notice when we went out with this new tank, didn't come with the tank, was that these Mercury quick fits weren't pushing home properly. That one is now. This one wasn't when we went out with both of us, so I do wonder whether it wasn't getting a good fuel supply. Okay, undo the air vent. Make sure the car fuel filter, that's there. I have cleaned that. That's full. Should start. Again, doing this while holding a GoPro, not the easiest thing. Choke out. Okay, just needed a bit of choke. And it's ticking over very nicely. Water's coming out of the thing. I'm hoping that the amount of smoke is entirely normal for a two-stroke. Right. Okay. I'm going to assume that's run long enough, as it's very early in the morning, to get some oil into the cylinders. So, to test the compression, disconnect the fuel. Let's be safe, and let's see if we can burn that off. Turn that back up. Oh yes, you can't start it if it's in gear. Learned that one. At the moment it doesn't like ticking over unless it's warmed up. So, okay, that's burnt the fuel out. Good. Turn that off. Now let's have a look at this compression meter. That's a spark plug tester. Here we go, compression tester with instructions. Always run the engine until it reaches the normal operating temperature. Okay, I'm going to go back and do that. Then stop it, take out all the spark plug wires, loosen all the spark plugs but do not remove them. Use the air hose wire, all dead and debris from the spark plug wells, remove the spark plugs in the order in which they were removed. Remove the air filter. Not sure where what the air filter is. Where the air filter is. You can see one spark plug, two spark plug. Where's an air filter? Might have to do a little bit of googling to find the air filter. Okay, I'll be back in a little while. Okay, so it's now been running for a couple of minutes. The water's at a nice temperature. I get lovely water coming out. It's just slowed down a bit now. It's on tick over. Yes, it's rather brown water because the tank's somewhat rusty. But that doesn't bother anything. Just checked, and outboard engines apparently don't have air filters, so I don't need to find an air filter. I need to get it all disconnected, and then I can do this compression test. So again, I'll take the fuel off, close the air vent and let that run dry. Don't want to risk anything starting. Let's put it into gear so you can just see. See that as it starts to drive, you get a lot more water coming out of the exhaust, so that's good. I've no idea whether the amount of smoke is correct. We are running the correct oil in there, and we put the quick lean from Mercury in the tank as well, which is supposed to help clean the engine. I'm assuming at some point we will have to take the carburetor apart and clean it. There you are, you can really see as it warms up, a lot more water comes out, and that's now running out of fuel. Okay, that's going to be safe now to take these plugs off. No danger of anything trying to start. Okay, pull one plug cap off, pull two. Good news, there's no way I can get those the wrong way round. Those are beautifully clean around those spark plugs, so I'll just take. Okie dokie, I've got the two spark plugs out. This is the cloth that I've wiped around, and that's what came out of the spark plug holes, and this is what the two spark plugs currently look like. I am absolutely no mechanical expert. I have got new ones on order anyway as a test. So now I have to work out what size of this to go into the cylinder, screw it in hand tight, it says, and see what happens when we pull the recoil start. Okay, there we go. Cylinder 1 got to 80. I think 100 is supposed to be good. I don't know how bad 80 is. Let's try the second cylinder. Okay, second cylinder also got to 82. I will go and ask on the Facebook group whether that's a good thing, bad thing, whether it means I need to forget this engine, do some changes, or quite what it means. Speak to you later. Okay, running the spark plug tester, you can see that's lighting up. Is that all you do? I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Okay, it's going on the plane beautifully with just me. Remains to be seen if any of these changes mean that it'll play with two of us up. One of the big changes is having that fuel properly connected. Lots of coolant coming out. Going very nicely. Oh, that down there. Morning in the Menai Strait. I just went as far as Menai Bridge. It's a little experiment. Okay, that's it for now. Bye. So, 36 minutes to the first Menai Bridge and back. Pretty good. Went smoothly on plane the whole way, didn't need full throttle to be on the plane, but we just have to see now what the Facebook group say about the 80 psi and whether it gets on the plane with two of us. Okay, more later, maybe. Okay, a quick update as I'm editing later. Was it still Tuesday the 2nd, nearly midnight? The rev counter arrived. I don't think it's quite right, because if it's set to 4-stroke 2-cylinder, it reads what I would expect in terms of revs. So with me alone it was going up to about 4,800, I think. But if I set it to the right setting for a 2-stroke 2-cylinder, it was only reading going up to about 1,400 revs, which is much lower than you would expect and much lower than it sounds. What was interesting though is that again we're still at the point where I can get on the plane very easily and quickly on my own. When we're two up, the revs were not going quite as high and we were not getting up onto the plane. I've got a couple more things to try in terms of easy ways of improving the performance. I've got a better fuel hose arriving, which will allow me to put the fuel tank inside the bow locker and lead the hose under the floor, and it's also a larger diameter. Secondly, I've got new spark plugs coming, so those may make a difference, but in fact regardless, for two up to get around a river where there's 10 knot speed limit, we don't need to go onto the plane. If this is going to work reliably for that, then that's great, and we'll keep it for that first winter aboard, and then we can think again. It's not worth us spending money. We don't want a petrol outboard long term if we can possibly avoid it. We will have to see if we get to the Caribbean whether we want to go longer distances to explore or whatever, and whether at that point we need an outboard that will get us onto the plane. This wouldn't be it, but anyway, it's going to get us through our first winter and we'll be able to resell it knowing what it is, with it properly cleaned and maintained, hopefully for similar to what we'll have paid for it. So that's where we're at the moment. If you've got any ideas for other ways that we could get about, we're looking at Plymouth for that first winter. It's a long river, there are fast tides, and there will be strong winds, and we will have very limited solar. So I don't really want to run a petrol generator to charge the boat batteries and then use the boat batteries to charge the outboard engine batteries, that seems a very inefficient way of using energy. Okay, that's where we're at. This slightly different look at sustainable sailing. It kind of seems odd to be looking at a two-stroke petrol outboard, but when you think about it from the financial sustainability, that's why we've gone down this way, and the ability, not just in terms of a cheaper engine, but the ability to stay at anchor rather than pay thousands for a marina is key to that financial sustainability. Good to see you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all the other good YouTube stuff. Bye.